So we basically have workshops that help students to understand our system. But then since last year, we have realized that a lot of them do not know the resources that are on campus, and so we have planned a long time to do one that's on the wellness, the mind and the body wellness. And of course, when we get into this COVID-19, it's becoming even more important. So, and that's where we are for this session. So hoping that we might be able to help our students. So that's, I just want to give everybody a very kind of brief wrap up for what Office of China initiatives do. And of course, we also help our home domestic students to get scholarships to study in China. So it's like two different ways. So one of the students, it was written on UK Now yesterday, I believe, Michael has won the scholarship, to study in China. He has worked with the OCI and know all these, resources that's around. So, so that's where we are. And thanks for Maggie, who is new with the OCI, who actually picked this workshop up because it was in preparation before COVID-19. So it's taken quite a while. And thank you all, the panelists, thank you all for taking your time to do this with us. So I'm going to hand over to Maggie.
All right, thank you, Hua-Jing. And so let's get started with our panel. I believe we'll be starting with Dr. Martin. Would you mind taking it away?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm Sharon Martin. I'm one of the psychologists at the UK Counseling Center. I've been there about 8 years. I've been a counselor a psychologist for over 30 years, and I really like working with the college population. We see students from freshmen all the way through graduate and professional studies. We're available. There's no charge for our services. It's not part of your academic record if you come. It's all confidential. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about our services, and we don't have any services at the moment that are specific to international students. I think when I first came, we had an international student group. We do respond to student needs. So if students were to come to us and say that they needed something from us, we will work really hard to create that service. So I want to put that out there. If international students are saying that it would be nice to have a specific group that focused on certain issues pertinent to international students, we would try to meet that need. At the moment, we have some COVID groups going. We have a COVID response group. I'm guiding a election anxiety hour through the inauguration in January for students who are having any kind of anxieties. And actually, some of the students who've been coming are international students because there are specific concerns that international students have. One of the things that I personally like about working at the center and the population is that I like working with international students, as do most of the staff members. We welcome you. One day when we were still on site, I got home from work and I thought, boy, that was a really good day. I wonder what was really good about it. And I looked back over my client list and I'd seen students from 5 different countries that day. And it was like really, really interesting to have met with people who brought such rich backgrounds and interests into their counseling. So basically, we provide a tier of services, and I've asked them to share a handout that we give to students who come for an initial consult. It's called Next Steps. And it starts with self-help at the top. We recommend a few apps that people can download and use on their own. And then there are some kind of drop-in services that don't require, so let me say that based on our licensing, we are unable to see any students who are outside of Kentucky. Even if they go on vacation and they're outside of Kentucky, we can't see them while they're out of the state. It's very restrictive. But we've developed some services that do not fall under those kind of regulations. So we do have some things that even if the students are out of state or go home over the break, something like that, they can still receive our services through, because we're Zooming everything, of course, during COVID. We do have some of our, every day we have people at Frazee Hall on site, but they're still not seeing clients in person unless there's a crisis and somebody might need hospitalization or something like that, then they'll work with that person in person. But we are all mostly working from home, doing our Zoom meetings, both for individual meetings, our staff meetings, and for our group sessions. So the handout also gives you a list, and it gives you the links so that you can Zoom into our meetings. So we have a COVID support group, we have an election anxiety group, major and career decision making. We do have on site, we do have massage chairs, and we're keeping those sterilized, and they're very popular. So you just need to walk into Frazee Hall, let them actually make an appointment online, then walk into Frazee Hall, and we're keeping everybody socially distant. And so one person at a time can go in and use the massage chair. So if you're having a lot of anxiety, that's a nice thing to treat yourself to. Then we have meditations on Wednesdays at 4. We have, we're doing some suicide prevention workshops as well, our QPR. You can see that as at 1 p.m. and it gives you the different dates there. 2 are coming up, one on the 11th and one on the 17th of this month. We're still doing our test anxiety. On Tuesdays at 4, I do a tools for tough times, and whoever comes in, I just kind of work with them to see what they're, how they're feeling with the tough times, COVID or election or whatever else, and try to work with people individually. If a group comes in, I try to do something that would be good for an entire group. I'm also co-leading the White Accountability Space for graduate and professional students on Thursdays at 3. We also have some brief check-in conversations. You can always call our phone number, press 1 after hours on weekends and during any university closings. We also have what we call, well, it used to be called Let's Talk. Right now it's Let's Teletalk, and you can drop in at any of these times and talk. It's not a full session, but you can talk 15 to 30 minutes. When you drop in, you may be left in a waiting room for a while if there's more than one person there. Then for our support and connection, we have some Zoom links for color-coded, which is for BIPOC students. That's on Fridays from 3 to 4:30. I also co-lead the LGBTQ support group with Joel Goodrich on Wednesdays from 1 to 2. Then support and connection by appointment. We have a BIPOC grad and professional student support group. We have a COVID grief support group. We have a grief support group. I co-lead that as well. And that's any kind of grief. Most of the people who are coming, there's been a death in their family or a friend. Some people are coming in because maybe a long-term relationship has ended. We also have the graduate student support group. That's Mondays from 1 to 2. We have a trans and gender non-conforming support group. Then our unique perspectives. Those are usually by referral. And then just to improve your skills, we have an anxiety action, or we call it the ACT group, and you can see the dates for those. Koru mindfulness groups, and then wise mind groups. Then on the next page, you can see we also tell you other resources around campus, and places that you can call for more help outside of the counseling center. So that kind of covers what our services are. Again, I want to encourage people to use our services. We're pretty welcoming. We like working with international students. We see I think a lot of the international students we see are graduate students, but we also see a lot of undergrad international students. So I don't know if anybody wants to ask me any questions, if I haven't covered something that you think might be important for students to know. Our phone number is 859-327-87, oh, I'm sorry, 859-257-8701. And you can get directed to whatever you need when you make a phone call. You can also make your initial consultation online. We have some times available for people to just sign up and come in and come in and see us.
All right, well, if there's no questions, thank you, Dr. Martin, for that presentation of the UK Counseling Center. Stephanie, would you like to continue with what the DRC has to offer?
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Nance, and I am a consultant in the Office of Disability Resource. So what we do is help students that have a documented disability. What a lot of people don't know is that mental health does fall under disability because it can be very debilitating anytime you're dealing with mental health issues. So that falls under our umbrella too. And what we do is work with the student to first figure out what's going on with them, and then we assign accommodations based on the need of the student. And we also work with faculty and staff. We talk about students to make sure that the faculty is providing the services that you need. And we try to collaborate together with the student so that students can have the best education possible with their accommodations. I will say that because of COVID, our caseloads have increased with a lot of mental health. Depression and anxiety are probably the highest they've ever been on our campus, simply because of COVID and all of the things associated with that, especially international students not getting to go home or having to stay here and can't really get out and about. So it's been a rough semester, a rough couple of semesters actually for our students and faculty and staff as well. To get service through the Disability Resource Center, we do have a website that you can go into and submit your application online. You can also upload your paperwork that shows that you have a disability. And I will say this, we are very accommodating. So if you're on somebody's list to go see a doctor or a therapist, we will still work with you until you can provide documentation. I have a lot of students that are on waiting lists to get in to see somebody because the system is a little backlogged. So we will definitely work with you until you have a letter from your doctor or therapist. So don't not apply for services just because you don't have the documentation. We will work with you. Once you apply for services, you are then assigned a consultant, and that consultant will work with you from the time you enter our program till the time that you graduate from UK. So you'll have a consistent person working with you that will know all of your information, all the things that you're going through or have been through. So it's really a comprehensive team that you'll have at your disposal, because we aren't going anywhere. So, everybody gets an individual consultant, which is really nice. So you don't have to worry about switching and all of that stuff too. So most of the disabilities that we see in our office, like I said, are mental health, but we do have students that are ADHD, blind or visually impaired, chronic health issues, deaf or hard of hearing, learning disabilities, physical disabilities, psychological, neurological, and temporary. Temporary means you might have broken your leg and can't get around campus. We have door-to-door service. You can call and get transportation, and we will take you and pick you up from classes if something like that happens. We do that a lot for the athletes that get hurt. So we do have that service. We also provide software and equipment for students with disabilities that need it. We work with the residential facilities for service animals and emotional support animals. We have a testing center